Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. We have a surprise update coming to FC25 soon that includes a lot of new things. We've got a brand new playstyle and Playstyle Plus that's stealing all the headlines, but of course those three new very overpowered past FIFA heroes are coming back. That one new icon as well is a part of this, along with chemistry boosted super subs. Yeah, you heard that right. And upcoming card designs for promos that are coming soon. So with a lot to discuss today, we need to get into things, but we also got to talk about the market. So much is going on in the market. In fact, I'm invested fully for some quick flips today, but a lot of prices in the market are going down since the SBC content hasn't hit the same since Friday. Guys, let's discuss. If you're excited for it, drop a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. Let's start by going over yesterday's content on Monday, where we of course had our daily player SBC, daily Evo, but also a little bit of objective content and some fantasy upgrades that were a part of yesterday. Let's talk about the SBC first. The Alexandra Pop SBC. For sure, when I look at this straight away, I see the stats. I'm like not super interested in this one, guys. I'll be completely honest. But I think this is a good reminder for me and maybe to all of us that not every SBC that EA release, not every card that EA drop is going to be fit to our personal taste. We all enjoy different players in terms of the meta in game and also the clubs and the countries that we support in real life. But this one to me might just be one that I complete with extra fodder down the line just to try a fun card, just to try something different. 5-5 with Aerial Plus and Finesse Plus and Bruiser on a striker. That's really interesting. For only 3 squads, 84, 85, 86, I think that price comes in at 119,000 coins. I know there's a lot of SBCs that you could put your fodder into right now, and this could be taken away from your completing part of the Ronaldo or maybe an icon pick, which would be more fun. Totally get that. I just think it's also maybe an SBC worth trying. Now, that being said, am I going to do it? Maybe not. It's like a 50-50, but I think that's the better way to look at SBCs is like, okay, that's a fun one to try. Maybe not the most meta card, because let's be honest, EA's not going to drop a super meta SBC for a card every single day. Now let's go to this SBC here, which is probably the best one of yesterday. The 80 plus 1 of 3 player pick only requires 3 commons, 3 rares. This is where I'll be rinsing my club this week into this one. I was trying to decide between that and the 82 plus combo. I think the 80 plus pick is clear. Player picks are just more fun, and I felt like I got good consistent fodder 83 and above from these picks. I think that's worth it when you're only turning in 6 players. But if you like the 82 combos better, absolutely go ahead and do it. Just make sure you're doing your daily gold upgrades and rinsing into something. Right now, with the pack weight that these foot birthdays have and with the fodder that we can get and craft the icon picks and all the SBCs that are available, it's a decent week to have a decent player pick available here. Now let's go to Evos and talk about the daily content there yesterday. Actually, at the content drop, the new Evo wasn't actually released. There was an issue with it. EA tweeted, hey, there's supposed to be this Evo out. It's not yet. And they released it just a couple hours later. This is the festive wingback. Ding, ding, ding. It's a paid evolution once again. 70,000 coins for a right back that gets boosts across the card. I like that it boosts the whole card here. Do I love this Evo? Not really. It's another one that gives 5-star skill moves and, of course, the trickster playstyle. Everything right now is giving at least a 5-star skills. It doesn't give a weak foot, though. 70,000 coins and not getting a 5-star weak foot on a right back or a left back as well is a little bit of a bummer. Of course, this is for right backs, but if you have a left back, even center mid or center back alternate position on a card, you can still evolve them. Personally, for me, with this upgrade and where the stat caps are, I don't know. I'm rating this like a 5 out of 10 evolution, especially for the price and where the stat caps are at. There's nobody for me that's like, oh my goodness, I got to evolve this card, especially if you use your defenders in this game as a right back and a left back to be more of a fullback plus plus type of card, which I think a lot of people do. This evolution boosts more of a wingback type player. Now, if you use a wingback and you want somebody to get forward, then using a card like Zambrata or Wan-Bissaka inside of this evolution, getting technical plus isn't a bad thing. Remember the Sasha Bowie SBC that I used, a lot of people used earlier in the year, that had technical plus and that card was very good. It was very nice actually for a wingback to have that playstyle plus. So it's not a terrible one there. I think this Koundé card looks really interesting. Of course, he can play center back. He goes up to 91 pace as a center back here, still lacking some playstyles, but an interesting Koundé card there if that interests you. Honestly, again, an Evo that I might end up skipping. I think that's the thing I really have to think about now. Am I going to really do all of these evolutions since they're paid? If there's nothing that jumps out to me as like an, oh my goodness, that's just such a sick card, I have to do it, I might just start skipping some of these because That's a lot of coins that I could potentially be rinsing into that, where I can maybe use that in an SBC. Those coins could be used for something else, maybe a store pack even. So that's the way that I'm looking at Evos at the moment. I know we talked a lot about those in yesterday's video, but if you love Evos, that's still another way that you can take a card and boost it up and make a fun team, and I don't ever disagree with that. Let's go to objectives, where we had the Foot Birthday Cup yesterday for a Kulusevski card that, man, even as a Spurs fan, just doesn't quite cut it. I like the dynamic image, and I like that he's 5'5". Other than that, I think my Evo version is going to end up being better. Decent card, though, but really, you're not here for this Kulusevski if you're doing the Cup. You're just here for some decent, easy packs, and an 86 times 2 is a pretty darn good pack, as well as an 84 times 5. That's the real reason to play this Cup. You also get an Evo from this with, guess what? It's another Trickster Playstyle boosting evolution with a weak foot upgrade, but it's only for 88 overall maximum cards. A little bit frustrating there, once again, that it's rating capped, and that it's not even a 5-star 5-star. It's just a weak foot +1. Now, inside of this friendly mode, it is the Foot Birthday Cup long range rules, which, if you don't know what that is, I don't think I've played a single game of long range this year. Any goal scored inside the box counts as 1. Any goal scored outside the box counts as 2. Doesn't really matter a whole lot when you're playing golden goal. Now, for the requirements of the squads here, the best way to build out your team is to use 190 rated player, 388 rated cards, and the rest 86 and below. Once again, the team overall rating cannot go above 84, so you have to use silvers, not bronzes, on the bench to try to bring that rating down if you care that much to build out the most meta squad possible in that Cup there. So that's kind of how you can get the Cup done. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. Those packs are worth doing, though, for sure. And again, it's always fun to use a different team. We had a lot of that during the fantasy promo, but I don't mind it coming back a little bit here right now for this Foot Birthday Cup. Let's talk about fantasy upgrades, though, because that was also a big part of content yesterday. Kvaratskhelia, going up to a 99 overall stat. He was the big card, of course. There were 3 cards that got a 99 stat yesterday. He did get it in the dribbling category. That was the joint highest stat on his card pre-99 upgrade. He had 94 pace and 99 dribble. The other PSG card that got upgraded to 99 was Matuidi. His was a bit interesting. He had 93 defending and 94 physical, and they took him up to 99 defending there. Again, I just realized this with Matuidi. He's 4.5 million coins. He's got pinged pass and intercept playstyle plus, only 4 regular playstyles on the rest of the card, and he's 4.5 mil, yet we also don't really love the SE and SBC. That's crazy that he's lacking that many playstyles, but he has 99 defending, so is that a bit of a trade-off? I don't know. The other card that got 99 stat yesterday was Kika Nazareth, getting 99 passing. A lot of people have said this card is very good for only 30,000 coins. Looks like a fun card to try with a 99 stat. When would we not like to try something like that? Now, she actually has more upgrades to go, but if you sold before these upgrades yesterday on most of these cards, you made the best decision. She went from 35k down to about 28 to 29,000 coins, but that is because fodder overall in general is down on the top tier. I'm talking about cards that are 89 plus. Look at the price of 90s. They are now 30,000 coins. We thought that maybe some of these 90 rated cards, or the idea of investing in some of these, was to eventually get their prices up because they would just evolve to a higher rating, get upgraded to a higher rating, and become therefore more worth it in terms of SBC fodder. But since fodder has been dropping, some of these cards haven't gone as high as originally people who are investing in them thought they would go. 90 rateds right now, even Kevin De Bruyne, they went from 35,000 coins yesterday down to 31k. A lot of people were expecting cards like that Alexandro, the Kika Nazareth, to go up into the mid to high 30s because that's where the 90 rated cards were. Well, with lessening demand on the Ronaldo SBC and no other SBCs coming out that are requiring 88s, well, there's still 88s required, but 89s, 90s, and 91s aren't required as much. That's got the price of this SBC down, and it's got the price of those fodder cards down as well. It's also a case of more supply. You have more 90 and 91 rated cards now than you did at the start of when the Ronaldo SBC was released, because Foot Birthday cards are pushing down fodder prices because they're very cheap. There's multiples of those in here you can see. And of course, the fantasy cards that got upgraded, those are more higher rated cards where there weren't that many before. So that's the reason why high rated fodder is dropping. But low to mid tier rated fodder, you can tell that the icon player picks are still keeping demand strong on the 87 to 88 rated cards. I mean, take a look. at these 88s, they are still 16 to 17,000 coins, and that's exactly where they were over the weekend as well after that pick came out. It's a good time to have that fodder. I would still probably sell it pretty soon though, before we get into division rivals rewards later on this week, and probably not any other big SBCs like Ronaldo that would require more fodder like that. Now let's get into the big news that is this update coming to FC 25, including the first ever mid-cycle introduction of a brand new playstyle and Playstyle Plus, the low-driven shot. That's the big news, but there's a whole lot in here with a new free kick animation for Gareth Bale. A lot of us have Bale. We're going to be seeing that. We've got the Beckenbauer, Gervinho, Doumbia, and Abarbo, and a little bit of information on how they're going to come and what promos they're going to be coming in, including some of those designs we see there, which look pretty sick, as well as the new super subs that I mentioned earlier. It's all inside of this pitch notes article. I'll link it down below in the description if you want to read more. I'm not going to read through this today. I'm going to highlight the main points and give you the spark notes. Now, the biggest question is, when's this update coming? Most of the time when we get a pitch notes article like this, the update's out within the next day or two. So as soon as today on Tuesday, we might actually be seeing this dropped into the game and seeing the inclusion of the first low-driven shot playstyle additions. Now, let's talk about this. What is this changing about the game? They said here, we've seen your feedback around shooting and wanting to have more options on that front, so they're adding the low-driven shot playstyle. I'm going to stop there and say you can already do low-driven shots, and actually they've been pretty overpowered as of recent dates. I've tried a few of them just by tapping the shooting button, circle or B, on the controller. It's pretty easy to get a low-driven shot and to be successful with it, especially with players with high shooting at this stage of the game. I think what EA want to do is put the low-driven shot on the same level as every other type of a way to score in this game. If you think about it, finesse shots, chip shots, power shots, headers, trivellas, every other way that we score goals in this game has a play style that affects the animation, the power, the accuracy of those shots and those goals. Low drivens are not impacted by that at all. So I think this puts low driven shots on the same playing field as the rest of all the ways that we score. So I really don't have a problem with it, but I do think it is interesting that they're adding a play style for this when it does already exist in the game. But it increases the accuracy if you have the play style, increases the ball speed, and most importantly, right, playstyles are all about animations, right? It really increases how fast you can perform this shot. This is crazy. This is the old way. Right now, how it is, I guess not even right now. This is how, if you do not have the playstyle, when this update is dropped, if there's no playstyle, this is how the shooting animation looks. This is full speed. You know what? Not bad, right? Looks decent. You're taking a low power, low driven shot. Just watch this after you see that. The real thing to notice here, guys, is how fast this player takes the shot. Take a look at this. Boom. Just dribbling up, dribbling, and then bam. Low driven with some pace down in that lower corner. I think this angle shows it the best. Like, look at this. Dribble. Boom. Before you know what he's doing, he's shooting into the bottom left-hand corner. That looks pretty overpowered. That reminds me of FIFA 18 double tap power shots. And that was very, very overpowered then. I would imagine that these are going to be pretty overpowered too when they get added. Now, the thing is, when we had new roles dropped earlier in the year, if you guys remember, we had the wide half and the classic 10++ roles were added earlier this year. No players that were already existing in the game had those roles added to them as a plus or a plus. So I would imagine that no already existing cards in this game would get the low-driven playstyle plus or regular added to their cards retrospectively. It would be from anything that comes out and beyond. Especially they're going to give us Evos. There's even talk about that they're going to give us an opportunity to put a low-driven playstyle on one of our players. But that's one thing to mention. Is that going to, if it becomes the meta, actually impact the market? Because players that are released from now forward are going to be more overpowered with that playstyle animation. That's going to be really interesting with this. Now, one way I think you might be able to prepare for this ahead of time is get a keeper with Casillas, or you might already have him, but a keeper like Casillas who's got the footwork playstyle or playstyle plus. I think that's going to be even more important if this does become meta and very OP, because this is one of the ways that keepers can save those low to the ground shots, either with their feet or with the hands. I believe the footwork playstyle will still kind of pop up and be active in game. Casillas is, like, bar none, the best goalkeeper in the game for me. I haven't used Courtois, and people say that he's pretty cracked as well. But I think that anybody with footwork would be a must now, especially with this low-driven playstyle being added. Now, like I mentioned, they're going to be adding a live Ultimate Team friendly to try to promote the new additions to this content here that is going to get us used to using low-driven shots, because I don't think a ton of us use them all the time. But there's going to be targets in the corners of the goals, and if you hit the target, it counts for 2 goals. Problem is, it's a friendly mode. We all play golden goal, or most people do, so does that really matter too much? Not necessarily, but there's going to be a new friendly mode, and like I mentioned, I actually don't think if it says it in here, but there's definitely going to be play styles for the low driven, or even a playstyle plus evolution for low driven that is given out through objectives, maybe through a cup, or maybe through some sort of content after this update is dropped, that I would almost guarantee we would have the chance to add it to one of our cards. So let me know in the comments what you think about this. I'm kind of worried, not necessarily worried, but I'm really interested to see how it changes the way that we score goals. Is it going to bring back the low driven meta? There's definitely going to be a lot of focus on it with cards that have that play style, and I'm really interested to see, since this is the first time they've added a play style mid-game, will they actually retrospectively add this play style to some players' cards? I wouldn't expect it, but I'm just curious to see how that pans out. So let's keep diving through a little bit of the updates here. Just some quick things with gameplay. It was really funny reading this because EA's like, don't worry, we're not changing a lot about this game, right? This is not redefining, this update is not redefining how the game is played. We've just made a few smaller changes. And honestly, after reading this, it looks like changes that needed to happen. They moderately reduced the accuracy of full-powered precision lob passes. Those were way too OP, and significantly increased the accuracy of clearance headers. Totally love this. Defending corners, I feel like I, clear the ball out, especially on a cross, differently every single time, and some consistency with the accuracy there. If I'm actually winning the header with my player, would be very, very nice. Some AI defender pressing situations where it was not working. And then as well, incorrect goalkeeper animations. All of this sounds very small, but like we always say, with new updates when they get dropped, you never know until you play the game. So we'll see how much gameplay changes, even in the small ways, after this patch is dropped. Now, the biggest news probably about all of this is the new icons and the heroes. Now, we've known about the Roma trio, right? Barbo, Doumbia, and Gervinho. They've been leaked. These are their official base cards. But guys, what EA is telling us here is that these base cards are never going to see the game. Yes, that is the truth. After their reign, a decade after their reign, it says, Doumbia, Abarbo, and Gervinho are back. They're coming out this Friday with Foot Birthday Team number 2. And guys, this is not a typo. This is the actual name of the cards that they're going to be dropped as. The Streets Won't Forget versions. Yes, there's going to be Streets Won't Forget versions of Gervinho, Abarbo, and Doumbia. I say that without a smile, right? They're going to be available through objectives and evolutions in this game. So it's only through objectives and evolutions where we'll be able to get those cards, unless you pack them. Of course, there's going to be Foot Birthday hero versions of those cards in packs, but as EA says here, the base versions will not be available in the pool of items for packs in FC25. So we won't ever see these base cards. We will see the Streets Won't Forget versions in objectives, which makes me think, are we going to have to complete an objective to like claim the card, kind of like we do with the cup here for Kulusevski, and it'll be like a reward for completing an objective, and then we'll be able to evolve them to a higher level? That's kind of what it would maybe sound like. Or is it like one card's in objectives, another one's in evos? Not entirely sure. We'll wait for more leaks and news around how specifically that's going to work, but those will be coming out this Friday. It's very exciting. We're going to talk about that a lot more later on in the week, because that's big news, and it's going to impact the market a lot too. Now, the other news is that Beckenbauer is coming back, and we knew that he was getting added back. Actually, yesterday before this patch notes came out, this is the official card that was leaked for Beckenbauer. He's got pretty good playstyles. Playstyle plus of long ball, maybe not the best, but this is his base icon card, which again, you may look at that and say, oh, Nate, that looks really bad. Why is this his card? Well, base icons are dropped from the beginning of the game. If this card, if you had him in the first month or two of the game, that would be a pretty sick card with Anticipate, Intercept, Incisive, Technical, Trivella, and Long Ball Plus. Hopefully he can play center defensive mid. Based on those stats, he looks like a great center defensive mid, especially for evos even now. I mean, 92 rated, he wouldn't be evolvable, but that looks like a fun card to try out, right? And probably not that expensive. Now, he's going to be added into packs, his base version that we just looked at, that's going to be added to packs Friday, March 21st. So not this Friday, but the next Friday, because that promo at that time is going to be UEFA Dream Chasers. That is this card design here with the UEFA logo on the top of it. We didn't have Road to the Final as a promo this year. Are these going to be live cards, or is it just a Road to the, like, is it just a Champions League related, Europa League, Conference League related promo that are not live cards? Not entirely sure. So that's a promo that is coming after Foot Birthday, right after Foot Birthday. That's what we're getting, to be exact. And then later on, he's going to have a campaign promo version in April. So we're getting this version straight away on the 21st of March, and then we're not getting a promo version of Beckenbauer until April 4th. He's going to be in the Foot Immortals campaign, which allegedly is this card design here. Again, I thought the Foot Immortals promo was going to be icons and heroes only, but maybe it's not going to be that. We'll just have to see. But that official card design with the animations there, I mean, does look pretty dope. And then the one that's unknown right now is that blue design. It was tweeted here by Donk, and he said, Team of the Season, question mark. We're not that far from Team of the Season. That could be the TOTS design. I think that design looks pretty sick, but we just do not know as of right now what that is going to be as a card design. Wait for some more leaks and info to come out on that, and we'll probably have info on that pretty soon. Now, that's the big news. Couple of other small things here. Super sub player items coming onto the pitch at full chemistry. This is new. I don't know if you guys do this right now. Sometimes people forget about this, and I forget about it often, that when you sub somebody into the game off of the bench, they are getting subbed on with 0 chemistry points, and that means their play style that they have is not giving them much of a boost at all in terms of the stats of the card. You see here, right? He's got an anchor with 0 chemistry boost. This is doing nothing for John Stones. But instead, these new players called super sub player items are going to be subbed on with full chemistry. So they will have basically 3 chemistry points, and that means the chem style on their card will give the full boost, and they're going to play better in game. That's going to be a noticeable difference, most likely, for super sub specific player items. It sounds like it's either an item shell, or I don't know how they're going to be a super sub. I'm really interested to see how this works out, but they have to be subbed in during the second half and beyond, because if they could be subbed in at any time, then you could sub them in straight away from the start and have boosted chemistry for that. And that's not something that has ever been happening, and I don't think EA wants people to take advantage of that, so it's only second half and beyond. No problem with that. Now, the other interesting thing is, if you sub on a super sub player, let's say they have inside forward plus as a role, that will be increased to a plus plus. Even if the card doesn't have it, it'll be increased to a plus plus in game as long as they're subbed in on their primary or alternate position. So really interested to see how that works out, how that plays out. Are they like consumable, like Evo shells called super sub player items that we apply to the player and they get the chemistry through that? Is it a promo? Really not entirely sure about that one. So that was the last biggest news to Ultimate Team there. Some other random things here for clubs and for career mode, some double SP in there as well if you play either of those modes. And there are some visual updates. There's some star heads they're adding. 2 new celebrations are being added, plus the unique set peak animations to Gareth Bale during free kicks and penalties, kind of shown here in the run-up to this animation. I thought Gareth Bale's looked semi-accurate, at least on the game right now, but they're even making it more real, which makes sense because a lot of us have Team of the Year Bale, which is pretty dope. We absolutely love that. And then the main menu is going to be changing up with some vintage looks and some broadcast tones, I guess it says here, with Beckenbauer, Pelé, Maradona, and Cruyff appearing in the main menu. So obviously you'll know when you download the update for the game because you'll be seeing Beckenbauer in the main menu instead of whoever else is there. So that's kind of the news for the update. Now, as we kind of tail off of that and talk about some leaks and upcoming promos, also yesterday we had news about a new FC Pro live card design promo. Yes, it does sound like that's going to be another live card promo that is coming soon. Of course, we had FC Pro Live, and those cards this year were live cards for the whole FC Pro Open that was happening. But this card design was tweeted by FC Sports Pro, and then this card design was added to the code. This almost looks like the upgraded version, and this looks like the non-upgraded version. I don't exactly know if this is going to be a promo or if this is going to be like an SBC and it's like a showdown. That's really interesting to me. But again, you look at this one, FC Pro Leagues Live. And this is also called FC Pro Leagues Live, but the card design looks very different. Not entirely sure on that. We'll wait for some more news and leaks and info related to some sort of more FC Pro Live card promo, something or other going on too. So, whole lot of information right there, of course. Make sure you click the link down below in the description to check out a little bit more about that if you want to read up on the pitch notes and have a little bit more info on that. Now, let's get into the here and now. Foot birthday promo still going. Let's talk about the market first because, guys, foot birthday cards are where I've invested literally all of my coins right now. Yesterday, there were some pretty good cards to flip. Holland over the weekend was nice. We flipped some Trents out. Garnacho didn't make a ton on. Diablo made some good money on. But some of these cards right now, we are seeing really, really low prices as we head into Tuesday, which is kind of the end of the weekend league rewards supply. And you would expect to see some of these card prices go back up. I'm talking lower tier. I'm talking higher tier. Trent Alexander-Arnold yesterday. Ooh, he's going up now. He's 234. He was just 220. He was 283K. We bought him yesterday at 259, sold him at 280, 279, 280. And he's now down to 220. Guys, this is one of the most used and hyped cards in this game right now. How could you not think that some of these were going to have a little bit of a rebound up? I think the reason they're dropping so much today is because of the continual paid evos that are taking coins off the market, and then also people finishing their weekend league, selling their cards, and then also opening their rewards and packing some of these cards as well. I think that's why Ruben Diaz is down at 380,000 coins, and I invested almost all of my coins into, well, one of my biggest buys was Griezmann. We got a really big undercut on Griezmann. He was 1.5 flat, 1.49. All of a sudden, one pops up for 138. That was pretty good. Bought some Salma Paralluelos, a Ruben Diaz, and some Trent as well. These are short-term flips for these cards. I think they would rise up into today, into Wednesday maybe, and then we would look to sell those. But I think that's a good investment opportunity as these cards, they're pretty hyped, man. A lot of people want to use these cards. They want to try them out. They're interested in these foot birthdays because they're 5-star, 5-star, and they're pretty affordable and pretty cheap. So I think they could be good flips today. And I want to mention also the discard cards. Remember, on Tuesdays, as we start to get into talking about today's content on Tuesday, we have an opportunity to potentially get the trade-in SBC. We had it during Fantasy, we had it during Grassroots Grades, and of course, that made those fodder cards from Fantasy last week go from like 16 to 17K all the way to 23 to 24,000 coins. Right now, all foot birthdays are 16 to 17K on the market once again. Could we get that SBC today? It is possible. There's a guaranteed foot birthday pack that is in the code. Now, with all the fodder cards that are in this promo team, is it going to be a worth it trade-in SBC if we get a guaranteed foot birthday pack? I don't know. Would you want to invest? I don't see like there's a lot of downside on this. The only downside I see is if the SBC doesn't come today, these 88 rated cards, which are 16 to 17K, which is the exact same price as all other fodder 88s, would maybe drop like 1 to 2,000 coins where you'd probably have to sell to get your coins back. So if you're going to buy these for 16K, which I don't think is a terrible price, I feel like your risk is like 1 to 2,000 coins per card after tax. They could go to 20K plus. It's all dependent upon us getting that trade-in SBC today, which is possible, but definitely not a guarantee. Now, what we should be getting today is another kind of upgrade pack because one of the player picks that we've been doing every day, the 85 plus, goes away today, and that means something else is going to refresh to replace it. And I would be surprised if it wasn't at least an 85 double or an 84 times 5. Maybe it requires a team of the week. Maybe it doesn't. We're going to have this alongside of the 83 times 10. I mean, hey, if they wanted to drop an 86 plus player pick, that would be pretty fine too. But that is something I wanted to mention because watch out for maybe informs rising up a little bit more in price today. This is the usual time of the week on Tuesdays where we see informs go from a low price and they go up a little bit. They're still 12,000 coins and pretty cheap. If you want to just buy something to lazy list on the market today, I would buy these. 8310s are still out there. Other SBCs are still out there. Buy these at 11,000 coins. List them for like 14 to 15. Make a couple thousand per card. Just continually relist them. That's a pretty safe way to be making coins right now in this market as well. Now, of course, we're expecting our daily player SBC, our daily evolution, and we've already gotten Pop. We've already gotten the Costa from this list here. We have the Mbappe double, Futre, Pope, the Showdown, and we have Tapsoba still. If I had to take a guess, I kind of hope the Ethan Mbappe SBC would be today, or the Tapsoba double SBC as well. We haven't had a double in a couple of days with, basically it was when we had Havertz was the last time we had one. So I would be on the lookout for that. We'll just have to see if That is the content that drops today. Something's going to be happening. Watch for the leaks before content to really decipher what's going on there. And then if we took a look at leaks for the SBCs, for the evolution side of things, there's really no leaks at the moment. Just FUTAgent saying, oh, there's special evolution coming for promos. FUTAgent will help you. That's not a leak to me. So, and every evolution, by the way, right now is just like a Trickster or 5-star skill move Evo. So personally as well, that's like, okay, another one of those today probably, right? Probably. Maybe a center back Evo. I take another one of those. Don't know. Maybe a center mid, center defensive mid. Who knows, man? It could be anything related to FUT birthday, 5-star, Trickster Evo. We're going to sell our card today, make some profits. Best of luck if you're grinding the cup today, grinding rivals, of course. I think one thing I want to double down and mention once again is just make sure you hit some 80+ player picks, man. This could get you some fodder, FUT birthday cards, which could help out your club. Could give you some fodder. You may not even know you have so many gold commons still in your club. That might just get you some players that you can go and do an icon pack with. Put a little bit of menu grind in. With the way the pack weight looks for these FUT birthday cards, I think it's worth it this week to put some time in with that. But that's going to be the video for me today, guys. If you did enjoy, make sure you drop a thumbs up on it and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. Have a great Tuesday, and I will see you guys in the stream today. It's been TheFutAccountant. Catch you there. Peace out.